Chicago winters have a way of swallowing sound, the kind of cold that seeps into your bones and makes even laughter sound brittle. On the night of January 12, 2021, police found a woman's body in a modest South Side apartment, her face bruised, her body still warm, a wedding ring still on her finger. Her name was Rachel Moore, 34 years old, a quiet accountant known for keeping her world neat, balanced, and predictable. But behind her carefully arranged life, she'd been living with a monster she never thought she'd marry. Everyone in the neighborhood described her the same way. She was so organized, so kind. Rachel loved routines: coffee at 7, office by 8:15, dinner prepped before 6:30. Her husband Derek seemed like the perfect complement, a charismatic IT consultant, always smiling, always joking. To most people, they were the picture of success. But inside their apartment on 47th and Drexel, that perfect picture was cracking, and Rachel was the only one who knew just how dangerous the fractures had become. It started small. A missing receipt here, a strange bank transfer there. Rachel had access to Derek's finances. She handled their joint taxes and budgets. She thought she knew every cent. But one night, while reviewing their statements, she saw something odd. A $9,500 withdrawal labeled consulting fee that went to a name she didn't recognize. The name appeared again a month later, and again after that. By the time she tallied them all, nearly $47,000 was gone. When she asked Derek, he brushed it off. "Just freelance stuff, babe, chill." But Rachel's instincts, honed by years of working with numbers, told her otherwise. Over the next few weeks, Derek became distant. He started sleeping on the couch, claiming late-night work calls. Then came the temper. Short, sharp bursts that seemed to come from nowhere. Once, he threw a glass across the kitchen because she asked if he'd eaten. Another night, he slammed her laptop shut mid-email, whispering, "You always have to know everything, don't you?" By February, Rachel started keeping a hidden journal. She detailed every bruise, every strange charge, every fight. It wasn't just paranoia, it was evidence. She knew something was wrong, but she didn't yet know how deep it went. And then came the night that changed everything. It was a Saturday. Rachel had been working overtime helping a client finalize end-of-year audits. Derek said he'd be out with friends, but around 11 p.m. her phone buzzed. It was an unknown number. "Rachel Moore?" "Yes." "This is Detective Alvarez, Chicago PD. Are you home right now?" Her stomach dropped. "Yes, why?" "We need to speak with you about your husband. Please don't leave the house." Within an hour, 3 officers stood in her living room. Derek had been pulled over for a traffic violation near the Dan Ryan Expressway. But when they ran his plates, his car matched the description of one linked to a recent robbery homicide. Rachel's mind spun. Robbery? Murder? Her Derek? The detectives asked if she knew anything about his business dealings. She told them she didn't. They asked if he had weapons in the house. She said no, but her voice trembled, because 3 days earlier she had found a gun hidden in the back of their closet wrapped in one of his old shirts. Derek was released the next morning after questioning. He said it was all a misunderstanding, that his car was stolen for a night and returned. Rachel wanted to believe him. She truly did. But the look in his eyes when he came home wasn't defensive. It was cold, controlled, dangerous. She didn't sleep that night. She started researching, and that's when she discovered the name that kept appearing in those transactions: Melissa Gray, a 29-year-old woman who'd been found dead in her apartment 2 months earlier, shot twice in the chest. The crime had been labeled a botched robbery, but Rachel's heart sank when she saw it. The police sketch of the suspect's car matched Derek's. His husband was living a double life. Rachel called the police tip line, leaving an anonymous message, but she made a fatal mistake. She used their home phone. The next evening, Derek confronted her. "You think I don't know what you did." His voice was low, almost gentle, but his eyes were full of fire. Rachel backed away slowly, her heart pounding. "Derek, I was just..." "Just what? Protecting me? Turning me in? You think they'll believe you?" He lunged forward, grabbing her wrists. In that moment, something inside Rachel broke, not from fear, but from a realization. The man she had loved, the man she had promised her life to, was capable of ending it. The fight was brutal. Furniture shattered, glass cracked, neighbors heard the screams. By the time officers arrived, Derek was gone. Rachel was found unconscious, blood on her hands, Derek's fingerprints on her neck. For weeks, the city buzzed with headlines. Accountant survives her husband's attack. Police link him to unsolved murders. Turns out Derek wasn't just cheating. He was running a fraudulent investment scheme using stolen identities. When Melissa Gray discovered the truth, she threatened to expose him. That's when she was killed. Rachel became the key witness. Her testimony connected the dots. Derek had laundered over $200,000 through dummy accounts, several linked to people now deceased, and he'd used her credentials to cover his tracks. But the story didn't end there. 3 months later, just as the trial was about to begin, Rachel received an unmarked envelope at her workplace. Inside was a flash drive, no note, no sender, just one video file labeled, "To my wife." She hesitated, then pressed play. The screen flickered. Derek's face appeared, calm and smiling. He said, "I told you they'd never understand, but I forgive you, Ratch. You had to survive. You always were the smart one. Don't worry, I'll see you soon." That same night, Derek escaped from the Cook County Jail transport van during a rainstorm. For weeks, the city went on high alert, posters, news updates, the FBI got involved. Rachel had police stationed outside her home. Every sound, every shadow felt like him. Then in mid-July, hikers discovered a body near Lake Michigan, floating face down, a bullet wound in the head, fingerprints matching Derek Moore. Beside him, buried in the mud, was a pistol registered in his name. For Rachel, it was over, or so she thought. A year later, she moved out of Chicago, started fresh under a new name, new job, new life. But sometimes, late at night, she replays that video in her mind. The calm in his voice, the final words, "I'll see you soon." And she swears, some nights when the wind hits her window just right, she still hears his whisper. If this story gripped you, hit like and subscribe, because every number, every whisper, every shadow hides a story waiting to be told. Watch more from Life and Crime Stories, real voices, real crimes, real chills.